Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Did you know you can apply to over 50 historically black colleges and universities at the same time for only $20? You can with the Common Black College application. Hello, my name is Robert Mason. I'm the founder of the CBCA. Students around the world have completed the application and received multiple acceptance letters, financial aid packages, and scholarship offers. So visit our website at commonblackcollegeapp.com to apply now. And don't forget to pick up the book, Get Educated, The Man Behind the Common Black College Application. Thank you, and get educated.
You can navigate the legal and emotional journey of divorce and exit a marriage the way you entered it, with mindfulness, love, and respect. Solace Divorce Mediation is a full-service law practice helping couples focus on the health and well-being of children and their forever co-parenting family. Our streamlined divorce journey offers flat fees with an estimated completion time frame of 2 to 4 months. If you or a friend need us, visit solacedivorce.com.
I'm smiling like it's Friday. I am. But you know what? It feels just like the best day ever already, right? It does not have to be the 5th day. Wait, that's actually the 6th day, Friday, because Saturday, the Sabbath, is the 7th day. Anyway, it feels like a wonderful day. So that's what it is, right? That's what it is. Are you planning on having a great day? I certainly hope so. And if you're here, it's already happening. Yay. So listen. Welcome to today's my little booster pillow. I wish I could grow still. I'm not kidding you. My little booster pillow. I have to sit on a pillow or I'm way down there. I am so happy to be here today, first and foremost, because it fulfills one of the Creator's greatest promises, the guarantee that where two or more of us, we come together, we have that mindset, that heart set. We are here to be of service to each other and to others in the world. And you know what happens when we do it? Blessings abound, spiritual magic is increased. Everything great becomes greater. Can I get an amen? There it is. I'm excited. I am blessed, highly favored, living in dominion, just like you. You better believe it. So listen, it is Thursday, and I want to just share a couple things with you before I get our guest in here. I'm so excited. Yesterday, we got the first version of the Trajectory television magazine cover in, and they still have a lot of work. And you know me, I can't hold water, so don't tell me any secrets. Seriously. That's what my family says. Well, what do they know? They think I can't dance either. They call me Uncle Carlton. Haters. So anyway, yeah. So my point is, they said, don't show it to anybody yet because it's not finished. It's only 30%. Boy, is that going to be a toughie. But anyway, I'm so excited. Trajectory magazine launches next month in July, and it is the best birthday present ever. Next Tuesday on the 4th of July, I'll turn 61 years old, and that's a blessing because I tell you, seriously, I remember in my 20s when I just knew there was no way I was going to live to 30. And in my 30s, I thought, well, certainly I'm not going to live to 40. And here I am. God is good all the time, and all the time. You better believe it. Drop one more amen. You know it's worth it. Get your blessings today. So anyway, that's happening. What are your plans? 4th of July is next Tuesday, but a lot of people will be starting their holiday celebrations this weekend. Are you doing it this weekend, next weekend, all weekend, next weekend? What are you doing? Right? I want to know. Put it in the comments. We're having a party. Well, we're going to see Casey and the Sunshine. I'm your boogeyman. That's what. And remember this one? That's the way. Going. I'm wearing every color under the sun. I'm gonna have more colors on than TLC used to wear. I'm not kidding. I cannot wait to go see Casey and the Sunshine Band on the 4th of July. And then next Saturday, we're having my birthday party here. And a lot of people go, you're 61 years old. What are you doing having a party? Because I never had a birthday party when I was a child. Not once. I was in foster care. They don't care about that stuff in most cases. So I'm really excited. Friends and family coming in from all over the United States. We're very excited about it. I want to know what you're going to do to celebrate freedom, right? Let it ring. Let it ring. Let it ring. Today, I'm just going to get him in here for the sake of time because we have so much to talk about. Yesterday, you met Dr. Phyllis Combs, and we talked all about her wonderful series of books, her time in the education system, her military experience, and much more. And today, we have her husband, right? Now, usually they say when it's a man, oh, your better halves. Well, these two are so evenly yoked. They should be, I'm serious. They came in the same shell. They are cut from the same bolt of cloth. Wonderful, wonderful people. Both of them are PhDs, doctors, and just so smart, and both authors now. But I'm excited. Told y'all in the promo, bring your food, right? Bring something or eat something before you get here because you're going to get hungry. We're going to show some today, some of the recipes and the photos in this wonderful cookbook, Jimmy O's cookbook. Now, Dr. Combs has not been here before, and so he's a newbie. Do what you do. You know how we do it. We roll out the virtual red carpet. We give standing ovations, virtually, of course. How? By putting hearts on the screen. They're free. They're painless. So let's get to it. Put your hearts on the screen right now because here he comes. Dr. James Jimmy J.J. Walker E. Combs. I just made that up. Actually, you wouldn't be JJ. You'd be the father, James Evans. Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting ready to guess your middle name. I got your wife's right. James Edward.
No.
No? What other E name is it?
Eldridge.
Eldridge?
Yes,
Because that was, now, who were you named after? Do you know?
my father.
Oh. And who, well, wasn't there a famous Eldridge?
Eldridge Cleaver.
Thank you. Not to be confused with Beaver Cleaver. So,
Yeah.
now, so are you, so his first name was Eldridge.
His first name was James.
So it was James. So you're, oh, it says Junior right there. Okay, so is there a second?
No,
Did you continue the,
no.
ooh, you know you're gonna have to answer those ancestors, Dr. James. How are you doing today? You know I eat on the show, especially with you here today.
Okay, I'm doing just fine, Dr. Harris.
Good. Now, remind everybody, of course, you're in Dayton, Ohio,
Mhm.
because that's where your wife lives, and she was here yesterday. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to dip out for just about 1 minute, let you fill in anything I did, because I didn't really read a bio because you're such an eloquent speaker. I thought I'd let you do it. So create your own vibe with the audience while I eat a little bit, and I'll come back in and we'll get started. All you, take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. James E. Combs Jr. I have my wife and Phyllis, and then I've got 2 children, adult children, Dominic and Ashley. I have come out of the Army, went on to become a career in law enforcement, and then teaching. So during that course, I have been cooking the whole time, supporting the family, cooking for the wife and the children. And along the way, remembering recipes from my grandmother and all of the people in my life, and kind of experimenting as well. I've had opportunity to learn how to put this cookbook together, just as suggestions to folks on that may not know how to cook or have an idea of what they may like.
Okay, so I am in another screen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, because I can't see if I'm muted or not. I'm in another screen looking for this cookbook. Where's Phyllis?
Here I am.
Phyllis, can you email me the
I
cookbook
did.
with the pictures?
I just did.
You did?
Yes, a few
Okay.
minutes.
Oh, hold on. It's not here yet. Boy, talk about snail mail. Oh, wait, because I'm looking for, okay, let's see. Okay, let me ask you something, James.
Yes.
I know you get ready, because you're going putting you on the spot.
Okay.
Tell us about the moment, the very first moment you laid eyes on Phyllis. What went through your head?
Well, that was back in high school at my locker. As a freshman. So it's been a long time prior to our getting married, but this was my high school sweetheart.
You still didn't say what went through your head.
Oh,
Okay,
wait.
let me give you a little. Was it like, ooh, she fine, or I wonder if she's still dating that football player. I ain't getting beat up. Leave me alone. What happened?
Oh, it was kind of love at first sight. It took a minute to grow on me, but over a period of time, it everything fell in place.
Clearly. So who asked who out first?
I always look at it as she asked me.
I knew it because I can tell Phyllis is one of those women. She ain't gonna hold it up. You taking too long. When you gonna ask me out, right? So from your high school sweethearts.
Yes.
So you've been married how many years?
40 years.
40 years. You got a big party coming up in a decade. You know, that's the one.
Right.
So
Yeah.
how's it feel?
It feels great. The opportunity to have my my counterpart compliment me and I her, basically working together to create the family and instill values and all the things that we expected or had learned from our parents, we instilled in our children, and looking at the success they have and where we are today is just a blessing.
It sure is. It is absolutely. Oh, that's the bell of purpose, you guys. Every time you ring it, I ring it. That means some truth is out on the table. Take it with you. And interactive, immersive, however you want to look at it, experience here today. So we're interested in your thoughts today. Put it in the comments. James, what kind of work did you do? Were you in education as well?
I was, and prior to that, it was the military, then a career in law enforcement that I brought to the table while teaching. My desire was to try to create some African American police officers while teaching, which I did at high school level, involved in the program that would take these students on to college, and they would get credit for it for taking my courses.
Mm,
Also, as a police officer, I was an academy instructor, so I took that experience and to the college level.
okay.
Yeah.
You know, I could see you too as a police officer, law enforcement. That's the popo. Let's just keep it real. That's the so let me ask you something before we get into the book and whatnot. I'm just curious because you're an African American man and you were in law enforcement decades ago, right?
Right.
Uh, how do you feel about all the stuff nowadays about defund the police and the, all the police shootings and all the different things? Is it a totally, do you ever say, boy, am I glad I'm not an officer today?
Well, I think a lot of departments are suffering from, a lot of those old guys retiring and not leaving our wisdom and learning with these younger guys.
Mm,
My perspective has always been one where I was so proud having coming out of the civil rights movement, making those connections to my own neighborhood and my own people to want to do the right thing while out there doing the job. Right now we've got a lot of through attrition and the older guys retiring. We've got these newer guys coming on, and they don't have an idea. All they're just right out of the book.
yeah.
It's so unfortunate because that human factor of caring and empathy is almost non-existent.
That's what I hear. That's no. So when you were you ever on patrol
Yes.
in the car going through, and did you ever have the hood? Did you ever work like the
Oh
dangerous
yes. I
areas?
was I was so glad to go back and patrol and work in the neighborhood that I had in the neighborhoods that I had grown up in, uh, making relationships, positive relationships with the community. Working at one point in time as a community-based police officer, where I actually worked with the priority boards, the business associations, and various city of Dayton agencies, and just kind of bringing everything together, being the center of relationships for the community and the government.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I would assume that when you watch all these things, not so long ago, that group of African American officers, that all went up on charges and whatnot. Do you see things in today's situation with the police nationwide that just really break your heart?
Oh yeah, quite often. And unfortunately, we've got too many incidents where a different approach, a different reaction could have taken place. Unfortunately, again, we have a disconnect between the police and the community. The police who come in wet behind the ears, easy to lead around by the nose, don't think for themselves, don't look at things from a perspective of, if it were me, how would I want to be treated? Uh, it's unfortunate.
So, last question about the police world, because it's really important, and I don't get this opportunity, especially with an African American who has served as an officer in the police force. But today, like, you have grandkids, right? You have grandkids yet?
One's on the way.
One's on the way. Yay! Congratulations! You finally gonna be Papa.
That's it.
Have you decided what they're gonna call you?
Uh,
Papa, Papa, Grandpa. You look like Grandpa.
okay.
Just plain old Grandpa. Yeah, yeah. If I was to ever have grandkids, I think I'd probably have them call me Playa. I'm just playing. I'll just play it. That's why I had none. So do you, when you see young people or parents even, because there's a lot of fear from the community, from police officers, everybody's scared of each other. What do you ever give? Have you ever run into any parents who are concerned because they have a child who is considering going into law enforcement because they think, oh my God, it's just too dangerous, or a kid who's going in and maybe for the wrong reasons? I'm just saying, do you ever have the opportunity to impart some of the wisdom that you said got left behind, or it didn't get left behind? Is probably a better way of putting it. In when you give it, what's the response? I mean, have you had that opportunity?
I let folks know that dangers exist everywhere, regardless of what career you choose. However, as a police officer, you've got opportunity to positively affect change, not only within the community, but in various situations. Some situations are out of your control, and those are that you have to work through and deal with. But I tell young people all the time that I had grown quite a bit in terms of my own growth, as as being a police officer.
Sure.
And that many of the things I took away are applicable to any career.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I just thought of something. When you were in high school, did you play any sports, or were you in the band? Did you any uniforms in the high school?
I played basketball, football.
There it is. I knew it. I'm gonna tell you why Phyllis came to that locker. She loved a man in uniform. The school uniform, the military uniform, the police uniform. You probably got one now. A retired which one you be putting on? Postman?
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
The butcher? I'm just kidding. I gotta keep it fresh and alive, right?
Yeah,
hey, you didn't get to 40 years by luck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You keep real quick about that. What would you say to young couples who are just getting started, or, I've only been married, how many years? That's probably the first piece of advice. Remember how long you've been married. I can never get that right. I think it's 7, 6, I don't know, somewhere. Ooh. What would you say is the golden egg as far as what you feel has really kept, because every relationship goes through shit, everybody. What would you say is the catalyst, that grout that has held your marriage together and made it so wonderful all these years, 40 years to be exact?
Well, respect, number one, and looking at those that came before us, and what it took for them during hard times to make it through. All those things I've kind of put into a book that I also have, which is developing a parent plan. Okay.
Y'all see that segue? I didn't even have to prompt him. Told you he was good. So talk about that. Let's go right into it, because that's where I was headed.
Okay. Well, parenting or child rearing is a process where you are working with developing the spiritual, emotional, and social aspects of a child from childhood to adulthood. And one of the ways you do that is a supportive style where you are making sure that you're non-judgmental, or should I say loving unconditionally, and as well being there to guide the child with consistent discipline and expectations and boundaries, so that they understand what is expected of them. And so that starts in the home. And if it starts in the home and it's a well-grounded piece, your teachers, when you go a step further, have little or no problem kind of continuing to guide you. And then there's you have students or children who are aware of what the social expectations are in terms of that social contract that we have out there beyond school, and all of your mentors and folks that have had a part of your life.
Let me ask you, in this book, because the way the world was different when you were raising your daughters, and I know it's probably easier for you raising girls than most, because you had a license to carry. Because I always tell guys that have daughters, I hope you got a license to carry, right? Because look, some people are like, dude, you don't want to mess with her. Her daddy carry a gun, right? Right, any big, right? So, but it's a different world right now in which to rear our children in particular. It's not easy for any parent, of course, but more so those who are raising children of color, just because, and not just, we hear a lot about black boys, it's hard to raise those kings because, you can get pulled over without, all the stuff you have to teach your kids now. So in your book, can you talk about some of the steadfast fundamentals? For instance, I can just see it. I can feel it. The family table. You guys didn't have kids sitting around the table for dinner on their phones and stuff like that. You most likely had conversations. How was your day? Da 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 da. You got a test. Da 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 da. Talk about some of the things in the book that are fundamentals that people may feel are antiquated or have fallen by the wayside that you think need to be reincorporated if they're not currently inside the family plan.
Well, this actually leads back into the cookbook because it's that dinner table and at that breakfast table that communication takes place, and you kind of go through the effective parenting steps, which I call following these things, which is boosting your child's self-esteem, catching a kid being good, setting limits and being consistent with your discipline, and also making time for your kids. And, here's the other part, being a good role model and making communication a priority.
Ooh, that's a big one.
You got to be flexible and willing to adjust your parenting style based on, as you just said, a changing world and how it affects your son or daughter, and show that your love is unconditional. I have a son and a daughter, and I had to, make sure that they were kept busy. They both began, the work ethic was instilled, and they both began working at 12. And we kept them involved in activities and, plenty of socialization. And also kind of just being flexible as they began to learn how to interface with others.
Okay, wait a minute. Because somebody out there going, 12? No, he did not send them down to Kathy Lee Gifford's factory. Right. When you say they started working at 12, shed some light on that. What does that mean? Were they doing chores and getting an allowance? Did they have paper routes, or what did they do?
They because of me having connections with the community, priority boards, the churches, there were little odd jobs that they could do that they could go along with me and get those things done, and learn about being respectful and getting, having a work ethic and getting a little money, a little change while doing that. And that only grew. Yeah, that grew into later on when they did become of age to work and maybe pharmacy or some of the grocery stores. We kept that going. Needless to say, that was what helped them to learn work ethic and what was expected of them out in society.
I told you to keep going. I told you Comcast Xfinity got me on punishment. I don't know what I did to them, but anyway, I was watching screen. I said, I was looking at the screen going, talk, James, talk. So
well, the main reason to work at, and is to have them deal with, learning how to act and interact with society, know what's expected of them in the workplace, and help them kind of build upon those things that were foundations within the home. It helps with their relationship of dealing with others. Also, I guess in the book as well, we talk about having children with disabilities, which is hard for parents. And if, it leads to in some cases, divorce and putting a strain on the relationship. But just to let parents know that there are resources out there and how the IEP works, the individual educational plan, which helps them to, work with schools, and if there should be maybe a deficiency or a disability the child may have.
Okay, awesome. And
And it's critically important that parents keep involved with school and what school activities are taking place, supporting their children in their activities, and also being able to help shape the child along with teachers and those that they come in contact with in society.
are we back?
You
Look,
bet.
look, I'm gonna just say this now, y'all. I'll one of those frozen screen faces. I saw how I froze a little while ago. I'm gonna just smile the whole time. So, Am I gone?
Well, you're back in. You're back now.
This is exhausting. Okay, so we're gonna get into the book, but first I have a couple more questions about the family thing and your own family in particular. You mentioned discipline, one of the chapters.
Yes.
So you know how it used to be back. I know. I remember. I ain't saying no. I didn't think my family were abusers or anything, but I did get an extension cord whooping or one or two. I did have to go pick my own switch. My grandmother especially, and it better not break, or you're getting another one. Right? Wasn't no such thing as a timeout unless it was for like the whole weekend. Don't you come out of that room? They put my plate in front of the door. Right? You see, I said dough, right? So listen, what was your method of discipline? And speak a little, if you could, to how there's a great lack of it, because a lot of people associate discipline with whoopings, but that's not necessarily, that's not the only way. How did you discipline?
I would say effective communication, making sure they knew what the rules were, the boundaries were up front. Going back over those things if a mistake was made, making sure that if based upon their growing and they were off in the wrong direction with interfacing with others, explaining to them how that would affect that relationship.
Yeah.
Making sure that they that was being consistent with that discipline.
Well, thank you for that, because I never thought my mom actually was disciplining through communication. She had two good ones. You like your teeth? You want to keep them? That was one. And the other go-to was, I brought you in this world. I'll take you out.
Right.
So, right. But understanding that they understood. So let me ask you this part. How do you feel about today's family dynamic as far as listening from the parental side? What's on your mind? How do you feel about this? Giving kids options, like letting them speak how they feel about what you're saying, or is it still do you still believe in the it's my way or the highway type of?
No, it's both ways. You have to open up the table to hear what their concerns are and make corrections or make suggestions to them as things change. You have to be flexible as a parent, is number one, because there's so many issues out there that are affecting the children, not only in school, but out in society. And they may themselves come in contact with children that are having problems. And you may have to explain to them and have a conversation about what's going on in that realm, whether it's dealing with drugs, dealing with the violence going on out there, the preferences that some of these individuals are making that affect their lives.
Sure.
And so, you have to kind of be that beacon for them.
Absolutely. One last question about the book, because I believe you'll have to have a few follow-ups because it changes, i.e., you're about to become a grandpa. together, you're about to become grandparents. And I have friends right now who tell me all the time, my trainer, for instance, he has one brother and they just had their second baby. And there's always a bunch of stuff going on, because they just moved here to Chicago from California. He's a police officer and my trainer's studying to be a training to be a police officer. He's in the academy. But he says it's his mother because she still thinks she's the mother of his little nephew who's 3, and his brother's wife can't stand it because she undermines or overrules. Talk about that piece. Have you and your wife talked about how you're going to stay out of it and let your children be the parents they need to be?
Of course, that it's all a learning experience, and just like the book that I had written, developing a parent plan.
Hold that up again. There it is. Developing and where can people find that, by the way?
Find it on Amazon under
Okay.
Dr. James E. Combs Jr. Developing a Parent Plan. You'll find that, and as well my cookbook.
Yeah, we can go into that after the break because I need to go get me a bucket of chicken, so I can eat while we're going through. You think I'm playing? Wait till you see some of these recipes, right? So, and finally, wrap up this segment. Then we're going to go to a brief break. What would your golden nugget be for parents out there, or soon to be, or one day parents, grandparents, anyone dealing with children, about the importance of being the example?
You got to be a good role model. You have to, when it comes to your own difficulties, you got to talk through those things with your children so that they learn themselves how to diversify and be inclusive of their own feelings and be accepting of other people.
Perfect. You guys, listen, get ready. We're getting ready to go inside the world of Jimmy O, all inside. And what's the O stand for? I forgot. I asked you that.
Omega.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll let him tell you about that when we come back. We'll be back in just about a minute and a half. Don't go away. Get yourself something to eat on. You'll be glad you did. We'll be back. Share the broadcast out. Back with Dr. James E. Combs in just a moment. Don't go away.
On July 4th, 1962, I found myself in the lost and found of mankind. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that it wants to be there. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that the person who lost it doesn't care for that lost item.
You are writing moments that people will learn from, grow from, and heal through for thousands of years. Together, we are co-authoring a unique moment in time. That DNA, those fingerprints, they're going to be gone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But it is your story that they will tell for thousands of years. But only if you leave it. Things that do not serve you must go. The longer you wait, the more time you give them to trick you into serving them. 22 homes in foster care, everything I wore as a scar, as a shame, things that started like Velcro on my spirit. After just a few months, then years, then decades, I had believed myself into believing that they were indelible tattoos. Sometimes we have to be broken down to appreciate the view once we start getting up. I want you to leave this place and know that you have been changed. Why? How do I know it's true? Because each of you has just changed.
Welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. Our host is me. I almost said our host is Dr. James. Our guest, is that a senior moment? Be gone! Dr. James E. Combs, also known as Jimmy O, Omega. And I want to ask, going into the cookbook, because look, I can tell Phyllis can cook. Now, she ain't slacking in the kitchen. So who did the? I do all the cooking here. All of it. Seriously, my spouse can do salads and water. That's about it. That's about it. But and I love it. So did you guys split that duty?
Well, I don't want to actually throw my wife under the bus, but
however,
I prefer my own cooking, and so did my children as they grew up. And I realized just how busy she was in her journey of education and becoming a principal and all those things. So being a police officer and working second relief many of the times, I would go ahead and start experimenting and or remember back when I was with my grandmother and mother, those recipes that kind of worked. And I didn't come right away. I took some experimenting, but finally I got it right. And so I do all the cooking.
Back to that butt she was talking about, not throwing her under. Do you have a comfortable couch somewhere in the house?
Oh, yes.
Because you'll be sleeping on it tonight. So let's just get that out there. I predict she's probably going to get the pillow and stuff right now. You know where you sleeping tonight. I crack myself up. So anyway, tell us the inspiration for the book. Did you start considering it years ago? And where did these recipes come from? Is there heritage, history?
Oh, yes. Definitely heritage and history. I used to, when I was younger, spend the time in the kitchen with my grandmother, watching her cook. We'd go to church on Sunday and dinner be already ready when we got back. And so those things kind of stayed with me, and those tastes that my grandmother had, or should I say was in her food, was something that I always wanted, and something that I figured, unfortunately, a lot of our elders, they pass on, and so do the recipes. And if we never did anything, we need to pay attention and ask them and or follow them, watch them while they're still here with us. And that's one of the things I've always realized as being very important. Doc, you're on mute.
Thank you, because I was pouring coffee while I had you blown up. And I always do that because somebody told me one time, you left that mic on, we couldn't see you, but it sounded like you were peeing. So I was muted and forget. Listen, but you're so right, because one time, like maybe 15, 20 years ago, I called my Aunt Candy, God rest her soul, and Aunt Candy could cook. And she made these things called fried pies from down, you know what I'm talking about? And they'd be wrapped in wax paper, and so those things be so good. She always sent you home. She lived here in Chicago. We lived in Michigan. And that was the best part of the visit with her, because, she was the person they sent you to for the summer when you've been bad all year in school.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So, okay. Look, she wasn't no joke. Not that let me just talk about discipline real quick. You know those runners that people had in their houses, those plastic ones with them those little pokey things underneath to keep it from moving?
Yeah.
She make you couldn't wear no shoes in her house. If you were bad, first thing she make you do, she every time you did something wrong, that thing would be turned upside down and you had to walk across. I was like, was that torture? Right. You sure you weren't in the military, Aunt Candy? But anyway, I called her to get her recipe for dinner rolls and for those fried pies. And when she started just rattling it off, now you got to make sure your dough is short. And I'm like, wait, what does that mean? So it was also not just her saying it, because she was trying to explain it, to her own, to speak to her efforts. But I had to go and call other people in Google and stuff to find out what that meant so that I could put it down. And I'm so glad I did, because everybody now calls me to get that recipe and her peach cobbler and this and the other. So in this book, are there stories that go with recipes? This was my so-and-so's recipe.
Actually, no. And that's something that I guess I should have put in there.
Well, there's another cookbook in you.
Yes, that's correct. But basically going with the ingredients and also the instructions.
And you're so modest. You love my cooking. So here are my recipes or secrets. So, well, it's the cat. Okay, let's take a look. How did you choose? Because I know you know a lot more than these. So these are like the favorites of people, or how did you come up with what you were going to actually include?
These are just some common things that people usually like, and so many of the things I was even asked by some relatives, why didn't you put this in there? Why didn't you put that in there? And I said, those things are going to come. I said, you get the treat of being around me, so you get to have those things, now. But the recipes and how to do it, I said, that's forthcoming.
So would you consider these recipes to be soul food?
Yes, a lot of them would definitely be soul food. I know that there are a lot of people counting calories these days, but I believe that if you enjoy food, you just have to monitor how much you take in.
Yes, Lord, because that's exactly right. I'm not taking anything off my menu. I just, I do it in moderation.
It's moderation.
And I know if I eat this, I need to do this, and I'm perfectly willing. But I know I look at this, y'all. The one that got me, I know what y'all. Somebody looking down to page 44. Pig feet souffle. Because I'm gonna tell you, when I hear pig feet, I think of Mr. Green's corner store with them pig feet in that big old jar next to them giant pickles. So we're gonna get in here and take a look at these spaghetti. Now, is this your spaghetti?
Yes.
That's actually your spaghetti.
That's actually my spaghetti.
Okay. All right. So let's just go in here. Oh. And see, that's another thing. Tell the truth. Back when you were a kid, watching people in your family, did they actually use olive oil? Because a lot of people think that's something that came out in the last 20 years. So everybody before, I don't remember ever seeing extra virgin olive oil in our house. I didn't. It was vegetable oil.
Right. Well, as we've gotten older and understanding, especially African American, how
yes,
we as we get older and our bodies work, you begin to change some of those things up.
So that you can eat better, feel better, live longer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad to see that. Thank you for saying that, because you have gone ahead, because remember, Paula Deen went through a big old scandal where people were hating on her because they were like, everything you use is going to kill us kind of thing. But people can also, these recipes are set up so that if you want to tweak it a little bit to fit your dietary requirements, so be it, right? So let me just ask you real quick. So you and your wife are mindful of things like your blood pressure, staying away from diabetes, because the African American community is plagued by a lot of things that do not. They do not. So did you think about those things in the creation of this cookbook?
Oh yes, without a doubt. It's just critical because I am over the age of 60, and which is a blessing because my father and my brother passed away of heart attacks, prior to 60. And
wow.
I've been informed that I've got congestive heart failure. So if I'm not doing those things that are necessary to still be around and to be available as a grandfather, I need to make some changes.
I know that's right. I want to talk about this recipe real quick because I in the last 3 months said, I'm going to make spaghetti and meatballs because I usually make a meat sauce, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm going to make spaghetti and meatballs. And I followed a recipe, but the problem I had, well, not problem, but the challenge, let's say, I had was I could not tell if they were done because see how it's dark on one part?
Right.
And it's flipping over. And then I was like trying to figure out, well, how many meatballs is each serving supposed to have? Am I just being silly, or is that really something to consider?
Not really. But the part about them being done is because I use both beef and pork to make the meatballs, along with the onion and getting these things together. So people do different things to make meatballs, but my suggestion would be to bake them.
Bake the meatballs.
Bake the meatballs, and then you'll be assured that they are done.
That's a great tip, because I was doing them in a pan and they told me how to space them and all of that. And I still felt like it was just the outer was just a little too dry, the outside. You know what I mean? Like you almost had to use a knife to get through it.
Right.
Almost. Y'all. Right. Okay. So, and you love, oh, now this is one of my favorites. Seriously. I didn't even know this was a thing until my cousin Tori made it. This is my favorite. Baked spaghetti. Tell people why, if they've never had this, they should try baked spaghetti.
Well, baked spaghetti, it gives you an opportunity to make all type of additions to it, to your taste. That goes all the way from the type of cheeses that you use, and as well, just how moist you'd like for it to be. But you're already putting something that is already done in the oven. It's just a matter of just doing it just right so that it comes out just right. Yes. I love that you show these recipes as well. And that's why I had to ask, because I went in, I said, I wonder if that's some stock photo or did he really make this? Here's one you don't see very often. And people love these. I think I'm going to use your recipe and have these at my birthday party next Tuesday. Yeah. I mean, next Saturday. Yeah. Uh-huh. So let me ask you lollipop. So you can eat them right off the bone, right? Eat them right off the bone. Now, a lot of people think that lamb is pretty expensive. Any tips on, can you get things? I always feel like things like lamb, I want to cook as soon as I get them. I don't want to freeze them. Okay. I don't know where I got that from, but it's just kind of one of my things. How do you feel about that? I do freeze them in the same packaging that I bought them in. And so when I do unthaw them and I do marinate them, and they're going to go straight to the grill, then that's helps them out completely. Now, here's another thing, because I have both charcoal Weber and a gas Weber. There are certain meats that I just have to have the flavor of the charcoal. Right. And there are other things that I can just throw right on kebabs and things, and chicken, all kinds of stuff on the gas grill. Which grill do you prefer? Like, let's use these. What were these done on? Those were done on the gas grill. They were? They were, yeah. But at the same time, I have made them on the charcoal grill as well. God, these look like they came off a charcoal grill. Yeah. It's all a matter of how you marinate them. And as well, you want to use a piece of aluminum foil on the bone. On the bone part, so it doesn't, right. Yeah, that'll burn up and fall off if you don't. Oh, I'd love those. Now, did you cut your grilling teeth on one of those trash barrels, cut in half? You know what I'm talking about? I want one of those. Okay. Yeah, those are very popular now, and they're not cheap. I do use those to smoke with. Because you can't, your meat is not, it's kind of far away from where the fire is. Now let me ask you this. The barrels. I hope people aren't watching that's coming to my party, because they had late quarters on sale a couple weeks ago, and I bought a whole slew of them. So that's what they're going to be getting. Now I see here. Now again, I would have sworn you did these on the grill. Mm-hmm. This is baked. The key to the chicken quarters, whole chickens, turkey, is I go through a brining process. I brine all my fowl. I brine all of my ribs. I cook a big pot of brown sugar and kosher salt and some seasonings on top of the stove, and I let it come to a boil where everything is dissipated into the water. I let that water cool off, and I pour that over the meat, and I seal that in a 5-pound food grade bucket for several days. What? Before I cook it, yes. Well, wait. You got a refrigerator big enough to keep that bucket in? You can take that bucket and put it in the basement wherever it's cool. It doesn't, or if you have a refrigerator, you could do that too. But as long as the meat is covered, and then you seal that, your meat will be good. Okay, I'm gonna need that brining process thing, because I'm serving that. Can you send that to me? I will send it to you.
Okay, I gotta turn this off because I went to the gym last night and yesterday morning, but I'm gonna have to go for the whole rest of the weekend if I keep looking at this. So man. Oh, wow. Told y'all you were gonna get hungry. We're gonna show people where they can get the book. That's a great job. I love it because it's not intimidating.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some cookbooks, I feel like I need an interpreter. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the writing's all little, and it's just, this is absolutely awesome. I can almost smell the food when I'm looking and reading it. Is there something in the back? Like, I didn't see the brining part. Do you have something in the back of the book or that tells people how to do things they may not traditionally know how to do?
Well, here's the thing. Those things you can actually look up online. Just put in brining process, and it'll explain just word for word what you need to do.
So you're saying all brining processes are pretty much the same?
Yes.
Now, this thing you said on the top of the stove with the brown sugar stuff, is that the brine?
Say that one more time.
You know, you had said this thing you put on the top of the stove and you let it cook down, the brown sugar and stuff.
Oh yeah,
you were describing brine.
Yes, that is part of just having your water, maybe a 4 or 5 gallon pot, and putting about maybe a quarter cup to a half cup of brown sugar and maybe a half a cup of salt, and letting that come to a boil. Everything actually dissipates within the water, and you let that water cool off. So you have no more granules. And you put that once the water's cool, you put your meat in that in a sealable container, plastic container, like a bucket.
Yeah.
And you let it sit for a few days.
And what exactly is that? You said a week, right?
No, a couple of days.
Couple days. See, I was gonna mess it up. Be all kind of roaches and stuff on the top. Oh, I can see me. I just saw myself open it up a week later. What the hell? Right. And I'd be like, well, if I skim all that foam off, ain't nobody gonna know. Right. Then everybody be in the hospital for 6 weeks. Look, see, follow what the people that know what they're doing do, right? And get clarification. They're at the bottom of the screen right now. You can see, just head over to Amazon and put in the search engine, Dr. James E. Combs Jr., Jimmy O's, standing for Omega, cookbook. And I'm going to order it today. I promise. I'm going to order it today. And I still want you to send me your recipe for the brine and any other secrets you didn't put in the book.
I will do that.
I'm serious. I just want to thank you. I just love it. And I don't know, maybe one of these times, can you come on the show and actually be cooking something?
Hey, that sounds like a winner.
I would love to see. I love cooking shows. Did you ever watch cooking shows?
Oh, yes, without a doubt. Especially the barbecuing shows. I know we're running out of time, but Dr. Harris, I want to thank you for the opportunity you've given my wife and I to come on and work with you and present ourselves and our books. Thank you very much. I know we're out of time now.
Yeah, they kicked me all the way out. That's okay. Haters, jealous. They were jealous over there at all right. Doctor?
Yes.
Don't even ask. So anyway, listen, thank you so much. By the way, my favorite cooking show was Lydia's Kitchen. PBS.
All right.
Lydia's Kitchen. Boy, huh?
I have her book.
You do? Yeah. Lydia ain't no joke, is she?
No, not
And
at all.
And she's a big restaurant. Am I real again? Okay. Listen, before they do it again, thank you so much. We're over.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you very much, Doc.
I'm going to just say goodbye to y'all. I'm going to just say goodbye. Have a great holiday, a great weekend. Love this. This was one of my favorite shows of the month. Thank you so much. You guys get out of here. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Presidential candidate for 2028, Sid McNair. McNary is here tomorrow, and I can't wait. Lord Jesus. Pray for. Am I here? I hope so. Nope. I can't tell if I'm really here or not, but I'm going to say I love you guys, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. How's that? Let's see. Okay. Oh my goodness. You guys can probably hear that, right? Am I live?
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying